So the building, the level, the window, all zeroed in. So I get my team fired up, we go. And leaders lead from the front. It was a 3-person team, I was leading in the front, and there was 2 behind me. And as I was patrolling, it was dark, of course, moving to a final fire position because we had to close in probably about 1,400 yards to get to a decent position. And I was walking down this tire track in the sand. I was like, how convenient, it's going exactly where I need to go. Little did I realize as I walked a little further, I'm looking around with my monocle, my 7 Bravos, and I'm walking in a minefield. The whole border of the whole city was mined, and I'm walking, like, leading my team right through it. And there's parts of my body, I'll tell you, that definitely, tightened up. No doubt about it. But, leaders lead. We have to keep going forward. You know what I mean? Assess the situation, realize the risks, and continue to press to accomplish the mission. Went in, we've got our final fire positions, we stayed the night, we did what we had to do. And then in the morning, we returned back safely. But you have to do what you need to do. I was in Iraq, fast forward 2005, July 1st. We're on a convoy. They just took the city of Hit. The Marines did the day before. We were coming in running convoys with all the Jersey and the Texas barriers, the gigantic concrete, barriers, and we had about 50 trucks. And as we're driving in, we're about 2,000 meters out. And all of a sudden, there's a vehicle to the left that's, up by the road. We know it's probably daisy chained with artillery rounds and all kinds of stuff. It's an IED. So Sergeant Zenecker, military police who leads the group, gets out and says, hey, I need someone else to come out and walk with me, I was a senior enlisted Marine, I was the first sergeant at the time. Certainly not really, by any means my place to do that, as far as that goes. But I felt it urgent because we'd never been on this route before. I knew my guys were nervous for them to see me on the ground, out there sharing the same hazards and dangers as they were. I don't tell you that because it's like, oh, I'm so great. I tell you that because that's how I led. And that's how I earned the respect of people, by being seen out front, sharing the same hazards and dangers. On that morning, from 6 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon, we found 17 IEDs. I personally stepped on 12 in one day. The fact that I'm before you here now is God's grace, no doubt about it. There was command detonated, wires running back to school, to houses. Fortunately, none of them were pressure plated, so when they pushed everyone out of that day, or the day before, no one was there to detonate. We found 31 projectiles, artillery rounds, oxygen tanks, propane tanks, overpressure devices, things that don't make people disappear, things that make multi-ton vehicles just vanish. And they'll throw like a pizza box, a piece of concrete 200 yards like a frisbee. It's unbelievable, the power. And in my books in the back, quick plug for this, a good portion of the proceeds is going to go to the 200 on the list that are quad amputees to build houses. For those that, there's a list of 200. So if you at the end feel the urge to purchase a book for 20 bucks back there, a lot of the stuff I'm talking about is in there. And be grateful and go for an awesome cause, but I'll be jetting out of here soon. So my brother's in the back kind of doing that. So I submit that to you. I would say, you got to fight forward, ladies and gentlemen. You got to fight forward. 17 IEDs in one day. The battle was won 2 years already, and that was the largest find on CNN of any single unit in one day. And I was on the ground. And I was like a rock star to my Marines. Why? Because I was out there willing to share the load, because they knew I didn't have to be out there. Realistically, theoretically, the element of command shouldn't be out there, because of the morale factor. When the first sergeant gets smoked, if he's doing a job right, that can really break down a unit. Plus, it's more difficult to replace, I'd say, as far as to operate at that level. Certainly not more important though. So I submit that to you for consideration. I would say, eradicate the words them and they out of your vocabulary. Them and they are divisive. There's nothing really good that comes after them and they. Replace it with us and we. It's not about me, or not about thee, it's about we. So us and we is the way we either sink or swim together, we live or we die together. The word but is no reason for that. The only time the word but is good is I fell out of the boat, but I got back in before a shark ate me. That's a good time to use the word but. Any other time, but is a preposition to an excuse. You're getting ready to tell some sort of story of why you couldn't. Just eradicate the word but from your language. The words I should have, just do, like he says. We get one ride down this road, ladies and gentlemen, just do. No matter what the outcome, with all of your heart, with a positive mental attitude, with enthusiasm, open yourself up to be inspired with your motive, your why, go after hungry, supercharged, electrified, refusing to be denied success, and no matter what the outcome, it'll be worth it, and the right thing will happen. So don't use the words, I should have. Okay. I'm on track. Anyone get bored yet? Willie Allen Drum go once said, an old man going the lone highway At the end of the evening, cold and gray, to a chasm vast and wide and steep, the raging waters were cold and deep. The old man crossed in the twilight dim, the sullen stream no fears for him, but he turned with safety to the other side, and built a bridge to span the tide. "Hey, old man," said a fellow pilgrim near, "you are wasting your strength in building here. Your journey will end with the ending day. You will never again pass this way. You have crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why build you this bridge at even tide?" The builder lifted his overhead. "Good friend, in the path that I've come," he said, "there follows behind me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. And although the chasm is not to me, to a fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. They too must cross in the twilight dim. Good friends, I'm building this bridge for them." And as team players, we need to be looking out for one another. We need to be supporting one another, encouraging one another, cheering each other on. We need to come back to the chasm deep and wide and be willing to help others negotiate that obstacle. May not have been as difficult for us, but for the person coming behind us, we want to carry on this legacy and be a true team player and make us bigger, better, and stronger, kind of weave us together with more competency and more capability, more efficiency and effectiveness. Then we have to be willing to share that and go back and help the next generation come up. And that's the only way our organization is going to be stronger, our group, our office, whatever it is if we share that information, if we work together as a team. You know, in World War II, the most fierce battle ever fought by the United States Marines was Iwo Jima. World War II was 44 months long. Iwo Jima was a little over a month long. Yet 1/3 of the Marines killed in action. The entire World War was on that 1-month island. And on February 19, 1945, at about 07:59 in the morning, the initial 8,000 Marines boarded their 500 land craft and amphibious tractors and began their 2-mile journey to the unknown. And when they came to shore on the south side of Iwo Jima, they didn't open up immediately. The Japanese 22,000 brilliant and magnificent defenders waited till the Marines clogged the beach. They were literally touching each other. And then, in a magnificent nature, they opened up, wide open, from a war-standing concept. With a machine gun fire and indirect fire, it had every inch of that beach covered. In the first 96 hours of fighting, first 4 days, 2,500 Marines would be killed in action or wounded in action. On Iwo Jima, 6,821 Marines would die in 36 days. 19,217 wounded. 26,038 wounded and killed. One Marine wounded and killed for every 9 inches they would take the island. One Marine wounded or killed for every 2 minutes, for 120 seconds, for 36 days straight. But they continued to fight forward. They never gave up. They never relented. They never wavered. They worked together as a team. They supported each other. They cheered each other. They encouraged each other. And they never gave up. Against insurmountable odds, they called them American flesh against Japanese concrete. But they never quit. They never stopped. And they ended up taking that on. In an area about 100 meters on the north side of the island, it had to be negotiated. There was no microterrain, no nap of the earth terrain, no vegetation, nothing to hide behind. It was what we call bow diddle diddle right up the middle. In 1 hour, this area had to be negotiated for the fight to continue. 94 Marines were gunned down, killed in action in 1 hour, one every 45 seconds. Can you imagine being so faithful to a cause, to a principle, to an idea, that you're number 1 in the breach, and that one takes one between the running lights, and you're number 10, 30, 50, 70, 80? This has happened every 40 seconds. And all of a sudden, 93, 94, until finally they break through. But they never give up. No matter what they saw happen in their front, they never gave up. They had resolve, they had determination, they had commitment. They knew it was at stake, and they refused to be denied success. And no matter what the costs were, they leaned in with full speed, wide open, unstoppable. And I think that's amazing. And I think there's content to that. So we need to fight forward. As you see, everyone ever see geese flying over? You know, they fly in that combat V formation, what I like to say. And some might not even think about it, but quite frankly, geese we can learn something from them, especially in the realm of teamwork. Geese fly in a V formation for a reason. They fly in a V formation because they cut the wind. Because the goose up front may not be the leader, but he's leading or she's leading at that moment in time, taking on the brunt of the headwind. And as they kind of deflect back, it is reduced so they can be more effective as a team. As it's been proven, they can fly 71% further and faster than they ever could by themselves. So what's the moral of the story? Is why fly alone if you can fly with a team and help each other get there quicker from here? When a goose lands because it's injured or ill, it's been proven another goose will land and stay with it until it's well enough to fly on or it dies. That's the animal kingdom. The lesson there for us, loyalty, is to look after one another, to be there for one another. When your goose are flying along and you hear them honking, in essence, there's nothing more than that, than they're cheering and honking and encouraging the lead goose up front. That's exactly what that is. Kind of like, hey, go up, keep at it. We believe in you. keep going at it. So why do we as human beings, not hump for each other? I think we need to, stick together. We can go further and faster as a team, as a family. I think we need to land for one another and display and demonstrate our loyalty. Imagine if everyone that you knew in this organization, you just knew they had your back. All the pettiness set aside, we're focused on solutions, making things happen, moving the chains, moving the ball down the field, taking care of business, kicking butt. And I know I got your back and you got mine. Imagine how liberating that is. Maybe that's a pipe dream, but I don't think so. Not in the world where I come from, where it's absolutely urgent. So let's make sure we stick together, we fly together, let's make sure we land for one another, let's make sure we cheer one another on. And I'm telling you, not only is it good for each other, for the organization, but it's just therapy for the soul. It's a good thing for the heart and soul. Les Brown once said, when it comes to your dreams and your goals and your aspirations, and again, don't die with your song still in you. If you have something, I don't care if you're 16 or 75, there's still work to be done. He said, if you want anything bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it, and all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it. If you'd gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after the thing that you want with all your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold, poverty, famish, or rain, sickness or pain, body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, you know you're going to be successful. I wish you that type of hunger. I wish you that type of zeal and zest, that type of fire as you kind of launch forward in your life to accomplish it and do whatever you want to do in your life. If I can ever help you a millimeter or a mile down that super highway for you or your family to wherever you want to go and you feel I can contribute to that, like the Marines always have been and forever shall be. Just real quick before I finish, remind you that my book's back there. If you're interested in it, it's only going to be around 15 minutes. I really appreciate it. I think it's going for a great cause, and thank you very much. I want to bring up Jerry real quick if I could. I talked about Iwo Jima, right? Iwo Jima, the bloodiest battle, where we always refer to that, the never give up battle, the kind of persevere battle, the kind of always stay strong, kind of fight forward battle. It's the essence of total sacrifice and service. And on that island is black sand. And this sand came right from the southern beach of where 70,000 Marines advanced and where 26,038 wounded and killed. So as a symbol of respect, I want to pass the sand along to Jerry. He can look at that sand, he can think about Iwo Jima, maybe on a day when he's dragging his tail a little bit, or when he's going out to pump somebody up. Maybe it reminds him of those that will continue to fight forward at all costs, no matter what. Thank you very much. I'm humbled by that, and God bless each and every one of you. If there is any questions about anything I talked about, or just in general, I think we can open up for that opportunity. If not, by all means, I understand too as well. But I just want to provide that opportunity. If there's something that maybe you think I experienced that might be able to be relatable to something you're going through or interested in, by all means, is there any questions at this time? Y'all let me off the hook easy, huh? Yes, sir. A transcript? You can get a copy. That young lady back there is videoed, I think. Absolutely. All right. Anything else? Any other questions, concerns, issues, moans, groans, complaints? Was this hour, worth your time? Very good. God bless you. I love you all.